And we used to be the 5th richest nation in the world. And now we're ranked among the 4th most likely nation to go bankrupt or go into debt moratorium. And, you know, we had very little poverty here, and there was a very little gap between the rich and poor. However, that all changed with the new billionaires that basically got everything given on a silver platter, and are now responsible for the reason why we're here, but like their assets have not been frozen yet.
Birgitta, stay there. We're going to come right back to you after this break. But this is the story. This is what the IMF, the World Bank, does in countries all over the world. They're done destroying the third world. They're now moving in to loot the first world, one of the most wealthy nations on earth, overnight becoming poor. And they're saying, no, this debt is a fraud. This is a scam. You bankers ran off with the money. We don't owe you more money. Birgitta Jónsdóttir, member of the Icelandic parliament, leading the charge against the banker takeover. Americans are losing their jobs or having their pay cut. Their savings are being destroyed. We're going through the same process as Main Street dies, as everything is fed into the big banks. But they tell Americans, oh, we've got a great economy. So we're in the same boat as Iceland. Going back to our guest, Birgitta, looking at this and the fraud they're engaged in, go over the con for people, the type of fraud these banks are engaged in, and then tie that in with the spin they're putting out to counter you and other Icelanders that are refusing to become slaves.
Well, I guess the con started relatively sneakily, you know, because they were sort of passing loans between the banks with nothing really behind it. They were making all these fancy bundles and stuff like that. And I honestly don't have the English terms for it. But then in the end, when they were truly becoming desperate for cash, they started to con elderly people and immigrants, asking them to move their savings to high-risk accounts, saying that they were no-risk accounts, and telling them that, you know, even though it had better interest, it would be still completely safe for them to save the money there. And then they basically rinsed out all that money into God knows what. Probably it's all resting in Tortola Islands or something like that. The spin that's happening right now with the Icelandic government and the media, it's almost shocking. It feels like they are, you know, somehow working with the Dutch and the British in order to make us submit to their fear-mongering, because one of the mantras they had in Parliament when they were forcing this bill through was that Iceland would become completely isolated. We would become Cuba of the North, or Zimbabwe of the North, Nigeria of the North, and that, you know, everybody would stop doing business with us. We could not get loans anywhere, and our export would be in danger. Nobody would want to invest in Iceland.
So financial terrorism. We had the same thing here in October of 2008. They said, you will have martial law, you will have a collapsed economy, give us unlimited power. And then now there's talk of criminal charges against Geithner and others. I mean, they're committing crimes. It's the same people that robbed us, robbed you. Why not have the people of Iceland swear out warrants and arrest these bankers that engaged in fraud? That will end their propaganda immediately when the people openly see them in irons.
Yeah, that's what everybody's waiting for. There is actually, I'm on a committee that has just been founded to go through there is a Truth Commission report coming out early next month. And everybody's waiting in anticipation about what is going to be in that report. I hope that both politicians who were sleeping or openly engaged in this scam and allowing all the institutions to be laid down or thwarted with new legislation, and the criminals that stole the money, and actually the guys that owned Landsbanki, the iSave host, have been openly, you know, associated with the Russian mafia. So we're dealing with very big elements here, and that is why I think that the people in Iceland needs more than anything to feel that we're not alone in the world, that the people of the world, more than anything, are behind us. And I'm starting an international petition where the only thing people need to do is just to say that they support us in this quest for freedom from this tyranny and blackmail. And they've also been using the EU because what the new government did was to apply for membership of the European Union, despite the fact that the majority of the nation is not willing to join it. And people have to bear in mind that even though we're very few, there are 320,000 people living on the island, the island is the same size as Kentucky. We have incredible resources, and we are located very strategically for warfare. And that's why we had an American base here since the Second World War until recently. And since the Cold War stopped, then we became redundant as a location to the great joy of many. But however, the north pathway for ships to travel from Asia to this part of the world in a much shorter and quicker way is opening. So...
All right, stay there. Member of Parliament from Iceland, leading the fight against the bankers, a bellwether test case. They're set to vote very soon on whether they're going to let the bankers continue their raping. The bankers are now cornered, and the London Guardian reports they're now saying, oh, guess what? You don't owe as much money as we said. The bank has all these assets. We're going to talk about that when we come back. New film we're carrying, Shadow Government, blew my socks off. It's got Catherine Albrecht in it. It's got G. Edward Griffin, so many others. Amazing new documentary film. We have them in stock, discounting it out of the gates, and you can get Fall the Republic half price when you get it with Shadow Government. We have some other specials on T-shirts as well, all at Infowars.com. We have the apparel where you can openly stand up against the New World Order, identify, meet like-minded people, all available at Infowars.com. We've got a bunch of specials where you can get videos for half price, get free videos, get free T-shirts, a bunch of specials, new specials at Infowars.com, or call toll-free and tell them you want Shadow Government and that you want to get Fall the Republic half price, exposing the criminal banking cartel. The public wants to know why they're losing their savings and their jobs. It's our job to expose these people. Shadow Government, Fall the Republic, Infowars.com, or call toll-free 888-253-3139, 888-253-3139. And you can see all of my films in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv. We run the special in December and partway into January every year. It ends this Friday at midnight. You can get 5+ months free right now at prisonplanet.tv, and we stream the live radio show as video. A lot more than just a webcam here, ladies and gentlemen. The document cam, our guest, everything. Higher quality archives of the radio show, prisonplanet.tv, and you can download and burn the films and TV shows to disc on whatever topic you wish. It's all covered. FEMA camps, vaccines, the environmental fake takeover, all of it covered at prisonplanet.tv. And I want to open the phones up for our guest specifically on Bankergate. If you specifically have questions for our guest on what's happening in Iceland, what's happening in Europe, what's happening here in the U.S., on how they stood up to the bankers, how they're starting to defeat them, the toll-free number to join us today on this Wednesday, the 13th day of January 2010, is 1-800-259-9231, 800-259-9231. And joining us via video Skype from the capital of Iceland is the member of Parliament and the chairman of her party that is really gaining more and more seats and more popularity as the people stand up and find their legs against the bankers. Birgitta Jónsdóttir, again, is our guest. As we went to break, I was asking the question for people that just joined us. Now that it looks like Iceland's going to vote against paying this fraudulent debt to the bankers that have already robbed you, they just want more now. Now they go, oh, suddenly we found all these assets in the bank. Looks like you don't owe us, even though it's fraudulent, owe us as much as we thought. So now they're backing off, going, okay, We won't destroy you. We won't embargo you. We won't put blockades up. We won't destroy your nation after we already robbed it if you just pay us a third of what we wanted. So, again, we're showing that these guys are paper tigers, straw men, if you'll just stand up and fight them. And leading that fight, we are so honored to have you, and we salute you because we're all in this fight together. Please continue.
Okay, I just want to clarify one thing, that the people that are really leading this fight are the people of Iceland.
Yes.
And
yeah, but I mean, you come up in all the major newspapers around the world, and of anybody, you really are the figurehead and a quite well spoken one as well. So I mean, it's your face there on the front of the ship.
Well, in some aspects, but however, it's been a lot of people working on this, and so I don't want to take all the credit for it.